Welcome to this week's Raw and Uncut. As you can tell, we've fixed the set a little bit because last week it looked like we'd all just crashed the party. So on this week we have lots of questions, gone from one extreme to another. So we have actually lots of questions to get through. So see you in a second.
Okay, so the first question is, needs high protein lunch ideas for work.
Okay, so any suggestions? High protein lunch?
Anything
Are they?
with, I mean, they mentioned that they were having a lot of chicken and it was getting boring.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
they wanted some different ideas for lunch.
Turkey and turkey mince, 5% fat mince, all sort of goes in the same vein.
nice and
Yeah, but also think, you can also think past, I can't believe I'm about to say this, following our previous conversations, but you can also think past like meat based, there are fish based, there are vegetarian options for,
things to add to it, like
for-
chickpeas.
I can't believe I said
lentils.
that, vegetarian options.
Why
There's
not?
also vegan options. Anyway, there's many ways of getting your protein in. Don't get so hung up on, eating on loads of chicken or loads of mince or loads of this. Try maybe, so instead of having one solitary protein source within your meal, have several protein sources. So you can add things like put nuts in your salads and stuff like that, So don't be afraid to maybe mix your proteins so you're not just eating chicken. I mean, the best ones I find is like if you're doing a salad, a boiled egg, chop a boiled egg in it. You'll like it. The people you work with, probably not so much. And also following up with a protein drink. There's nothing wrong with just having your meal and then following it up with a protein drink to get your protein up.
Called a supplement for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, don't get hung up on one type of protein in that meal.
I mean, like if you want to have a ham sandwich, you can have
Absolutely.
a ham sandwich,
Of course.
and then follow it up with a
Protein drink or some eggs or
protein water's good.
protein water. And it's got a protein content. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, next question. Is there an optimum time during the day to eat high protein foods, e.g. after a workout?
It's like a protein window. I guess.
Uh,
I mean,
Go on.
I think I was talking to Richard about this, and obviously, like, there is an optimal kind of time, would you say, which would generally be a better option for just after training, but I would agree that any time of the day, as long as you get your protein in.
Yeah, I think there was for a long time particularly in the world of bodybuilding, there was a lot of things that talked about there was a lot of discussion around protein and the protein window being 20 minutes after you worked out to be optimal and
it's a bit old
but
now, though, isn't it?
because when you actually think about it logically, like you got to. So if we're talking about meat, you got to chew the meat. It's then got to go into the digestive system. It's got to be broken down by the hydrochloric acid in the stomach. So you break down all your disulfide bonds into amino acid chains to be utilised. That's not happening within 20 minutes after your workout.
No.
That's a longer process. So that's a digestion process of maybe, meat could be, red meat could be 8 hours. So, no. Is the short answer really is no. Is the short answer to no. There's no optimal time. It's not like you're going to miss your gains if you go for you don't eat within 20 minutes. I think really, if anything, it's just having a steady flow of protein.
Be
So
consistent with it all day.
so like a steady flow of protein going in. Same as all nutrients, carbs, fats, steady, slow and steady, slow and steady. So for example, if you had your protein level set at 150 grams and you've eaten 20, don't think you've got to sit down and eat 130 grams of protein at tea, because you'll break it down eventually, but it's going to take a while. So what do you reckon?
It's gonna be one big lump.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I agree. I don't think there's any really optimal time.
While we're on that, when it comes to protein, break it up into, look at your day. I think I talked about this briefly last week, but look at your day, and if you go, actually, you know what, I've got a ram-packed day, then you might need to use more protein bars, drinks, things that you can get down quick. If you're the kind of person who go, actually, do you know what, I can eat 4 times today, then divide your protein over 4 meals. It's going to be a lot easier for you to get in and go, I've now got to eat 70 grams of protein. All that's going to do is just really just fill you up and make you feel more comfortable.
It's just about making it manageable around your lifestyle.
I think
isn't
that's
it?
why a lot of people are
Really
struggling to
different.
hit those higher scales because they are trying to put maybe too much in one go.
I agree.
Thinking
Especially
about
if
it too
you've never
much.
eaten that way.
Mm.
If you've
Yeah.
never eaten that
Spread it
level of
out.
protein or never focused that much on the protein, then to adapt your lifestyle around a sort of protein-based diet can be quite challenging. But again, it's the same as everything we're doing here. It's all about adapting and changing your
It's
habits.
just slowly. And you know what? The whole world is not going to fall apart, or your results are not going to come because you missed like 30 grams off your protein today. It's not gonna. It's not the end of the world. It's only if you're constantly under your calories, so you're constantly hungry, or you know what I mean, and you can't get through your workouts, or if you're consistently over your calories and you're not getting the result that you're looking for, depending on what you're looking for. They're the ones you want to focus on more than like, I didn't quite get all my protein in with that meal.
Okay.
Agreed.
Next one, struggling to hit my calories. What
Okay.
can I do?
So I'll keep talking. No, somebody else can talk. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just gonna sit there and solve.
Come on, Jamie, take it away.
Go on, Jim.
Okay, so
Struggling to hit my calories.
so struggling to hit my calories. So I don't know what to say.
I mean, it goes back to what's been covered in the first couple of questions, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
adding in things like nuts for good fats and good extra
Yeah, we're
proteins,
camera shy.
adding in supplemental shakes and stuff, just getting those numbers up in different
Yeah.
ways other than actually digesting and eating food.
So here we kind of focus more on. So you guys, if you're clients watching this, or and if you're not clients, we tend to focus on total calories and protein.
I was just about to say.
So if we're focusing total calories and protein as the most important, and you're struggling to hit your calories, then you probably need more fats in your diet. So you're going to get 9 calories per gram from fats. That doesn't mean that Wayne said it's okay, I can eat a whole block of cheese. I didn't say that, but it might be like you want to use more oil when you're cooking. Make sure you're counting your butters. Make sure you're counting your creams, your butters, your oils, because a lot of people don't count them and they don't
Sometimes a lot of
realise.
things are missed. Aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So then they think, hang about, or they don't measure it. They go, I think that's a teaspoon.
Eyeball it, yeah, that's
You
the
know,
worst.
that's you're probably, you know, before you know it, you're probably putting 400 calories worth of oil into your pan. So maybe start with monitoring that to make sure that you definitely are under eating, and if you are under eating, then start making your meals slightly bigger. Maybe going for bigger portions.
I mean, I suppose everything's easy to be bulked out, isn't it? With like everybody measures out.
It's
if you
always
measure out
gonna
with rice and pasta, you can easily add an extra 10, 20
It's
grams.
always going to be difficult to fill your calories from super clean food. So if I said to everybody here, I want you to eat 3,000 calories a day, but it can only come from lean proteins, lean grains and greens.
Wouldn't have time for anything
Mate,
else.
you'd literally spend the whole day eating.
Yeah.
Cooking and eating. Yeah.
You know, it's really easy to fill 1,500 calories from a visit to McDonald's. You know, it's one meal. But like literally, it's harder work when you're cleaning up your diet. Which is why we say to people, unless you're stepping on stage, unless you've hired us to get you show ready.
Do you
that
think
you
that's
don't need to be
where
doing that.
like carbohydrates becomes a little bit of a fear kind of thing?
What?
Because-
That's because of gaining fat.
Yeah, because everyone sees carbohydrates as a massive source of like I'm going to put on lots of
Car-
fat
car-
for some reason.
I think the
Carbs
trouble
are
with that,
demonised.
yeah, the
Yeah,
trouble with that
that's a
stems
big
from when the
demonised.
Atkins diet.
Yeah,
came
that's
out,
it.
Everybody
Yeah.
demonised
Yeah.
carbs as bad because everybody was getting incredible results because
So it could be the
whole
fact
food
that-
group.
This person has not eaten enough
Absolutely.
carbs in their diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no single food will make you fat. It'll only make you fat in excess. So if you had 2,000 calories from lettuce, it's a lot of lettuce, but you only require 1,800 calories. You're eating 200 calories over what you require. You're going to gain weight. So carbohydrates got absolutely smashed. And you still do get smashed. And I'm still a fan. I'm a massive hypocrite, but I'm still a fan. If I was going to compete again, I would definitely probably reduce my carbohydrates and go keto, purely because it's what I've always done, and I don't need an excuse not to put lots of food in my stomach. So it would suit me fine, and I have no
It might
problem
not
with it.
suit others.
However, I wouldn't say that's necessarily the right route, because all I've effectively done is reduce my calories by removing carbohydrates.
Yeah.
I haven't, it wasn't the carbohydrates, I've not done anything magic, I've just removed. So for me, I struggle to eat like carbs, even though I look like I don't. Watch yourself. Like I struggle to eat carbs because they fill me really quickly, and I don't like that discomfort.
Bloated feelings.
Yeah, so and you know, and so for me, probably because of years and years and years of owning that kind of bodybuilding mentality where you remove carbs as you go dieting into your show, but don't demonise foods. The best way, I still to this day, because I'm old, as much as MyFitnessPal and all these apps are great for tracking, there's nothing better than writing a journal.
Mm.
Because it's the best weight loss muscle building training book you will ever read, because it's written about you, for you. So I'm still a massive fan of writing down how I felt, did I have energy, what's my mood like, journal. I still, the best bodybuilders and athletes in time of always, they're not using My Fitness Pal, I'm telling you now. They are literally using a journal. How did they train? What did they feel? How did they sleep? Everything. Cool.
Next question. I'm really poor at drinking water. How can I change this?
So common, this one, isn't
It's
it?
a massive one.
Yeah, we had to work really hard when I was working with you to get my water up to 4 litres. I wasn't really drinking water when I started, not a great deal anyway. And literally the only way I managed to do it was constantly having a bottle of water around me. Like wherever I went, there was a bottle of water either in my hand, in the car, next to my bed, in the kitchen. So everywhere I
I
was.
still don't.
I'm a lot
I
better
still
at
don't
work,
drink as
yeah.
much water as I should.
I dipped out like in the last month. I've probably had about 2 weeks at the beginning of the last 4 weeks where I hardly drank any water. I felt sluggish. I was feeling just grim all the time. And since I picked my water back up, my training's improved, my food intake's improved, my sleep's improved.
I still think it's one of the most underrated nutrients. It's
Yeah.
sort of most things that people don't get. The one
Everybody
thing,
asks
like
about
every
magic
question we've
elixir.
had, every question is always about my calories, my protein, my calories, my protein.
Water is just
like,
as important,
Yeah.
if not more so.
Yeah, because muscle volumization, you're going to get, your body requires water generally. So if you're not drinking enough water, your body doesn't need water in muscle. It needs water in the digestive system, in your central nervous system. That's why it's more needed. So what it'll do is it'll just think. That's why you can be quite flat, and then you start drinking water and feel a lot fuller. And it's basically your body it's designed to keep you alive, and that's why you have the whole process of osmosis is from water to move around the body. So it'll go from a high concentration to a low concentration. So if there's a low concentration of water in the digestive system and there's a high concentration in the muscle, it'll just osmosis, it'll just pull it across, because that's what it needs it for. It doesn't need it so your biceps look good. So
It's got a massive connection to joint
Absolutely.
hydration as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
anybody who's suffering from joint pain, like mechanical joint pain, so not actually diagnosed with an actual joint pain, but someone who's just struggles, and once they get moving, they're hydrating their joints. Obviously,
skin as well, skin's better. Everything's better. So really, if somebody said to me, what would you think was your top level of nutrition and health, I'd say water first.
Yeah.
The thing is, we live in a world where everybody's looking for the next shake that will make them thin. They're looking for the magic elixir that will help them lose weight, get fit, feel healthy, look amazing, and all that lot. And literally, it comes out of the ground in this planet.
Absolutely.
And we do not use it enough at all.
Yeah.
And I know the difference how I feel when I'm well hydrated to compare with when I
But
don't.
look at
And
the
I
earth
see the difference
itself.
in the mirror too.
The earth itself is mostly
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
Yeah, and so are we. Like
I
we're
think it
most
tells you
of us
something,
too.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're depriving the earth of that, the earth is going to struggle and it's going to wither and die. You do
Cool.
the same with the body, you get the same results.
Exactly. So what about you, Manny? What you like with water? Because you're good with food, aren't you? You're good with your food.
Yeah, quite good with food, but I don't like water. I don't like it's got no taste. I always have squash.
Are you are you better? So I'm the same. I will actually, if I put a little bit of squash in it, I will literally, I'll get through
I'll
through
get
my
through
water
loads.
content really easily. So this has got no squash in it, and that's pretty much all I've drank today.
See, I'm the water snob. I can drink tap water unless I have squash in it. I can drink the filtered water here, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I can drink bottled water.
The water
But
is
tap
really
water,
nice.
can't touch it, so I have to put squash in with that.
But we'd
So
all
from
agree
home-
that's absolutely fine, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of squash. It does,
that's the way to get water in your body.
What are you with a diluted
Yeah.
portion of squash,
Exactly.
about 7 calories top
Yeah,
end, with
yeah.
a really
Yeah.
high concentrated.
Sometimes like 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of them you can get like the Robinson Squeeze 'em ones. They're like 1 calorie a portion.
And again, if it's a difference between optimal performance, i.e., competing, then everything needs to be counted. But for most people, just if it means the difference between getting your water in and not getting your water in, put the squash
Do
in.
it in, yeah. Because it might just be
That's
they're
what I
not
do.
just down to taste at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
absolutely.
You're
Yeah,
just
I
getting
know,
water
that's
with the taste.
Oh, it's got 7 calories in it. Or, so if you drink 4 litres, not saying you should, but if you drink 4 litres, you get 28 calories. You see, I did maths there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quick maths.
Do you think, what do you reckon the recommended is, 2.5 to 3?
It varies
So
on
there's
process,
so
doesn't
many variations. They say a litre for every £50, or so many variations. I tend to go with, I'm thirsty.
I'm
And that's how you go with that kind of way, really.
The thing is as well, the easiest way to tell is when you go to the toilet. If
do
your
the
piss is
test,
yellow,
yes.
you're dehydrated. Go get some water. If it's coming through clear, keep on top of it.
But then if somebody's taking vitamins, their water's never going.
Oh my
It's
God.
never going to be clear. It's
Take
gonna
it.
come-
Green.
Well, then you should always be
Yeah.
working hard to keep your hydration up, shouldn't you?
No, but yeah, I think like, you know, I think for most people, like
That's the thing, isn't it?
general breathing and stuff, you're losing 1 litre to 1.5 litres. Adding to that you're walking around doing your job, you're probably losing another 0.5 litre to 1 litre. So you know, by the end of the day, you can quite easily have like lost 2.5 litres of fluid, which is now instantly dehydrating.
And the
which
coffees,
is
anybody-
quite-
does
and the
anybody
coffees and
know-
teas you're drinking though are going
Yeah.
to dehydrate you too.
Does
Yes.
anybody know
Yeah.
what percentage starts dehydration process? What percentage of water loss?
Go on.
Oh, I reckon it's only about
2%
Yeah,
2% decrease.
yeah.
Yeah. I can believe that, and
That's
we all
what-
know it. We all know, like, I know how I feel, and this is another big one as well. When people reach for the energy drinks in the afternoon,
Yeah.
I'll go have an energy drink. Oh, I need something sweet. I bet any money you don't. I bet you need water.
Yeah.
When I was a taxi driver, obviously I've done like 1 million jobs. So when I was a taxi driver, I was obviously working nights a lot. And initially when I started, I went to energy drinks to keep me going. And I just found I was feeling awful on it. I was feeling dreadful the next day. It did
Yeah.
nothing for me.
Yeah.
And I switched it at one point when I went to the garage to pick up a drink and I grabbed a bottle of water. And I never went back after that with the taxi driver. I felt more alive, more energised from drinking the water overnight
Try it.
than I did on.
It'd be great if you guys try drinking more water. My brain's fried. I think I need water.
You need water. Where's your bottle?
But yeah, try drinking more water and
Maybe-
just give us some feedback. See how you felt.
Yeah. But maybe lots of people have now had like a ping moment because they probably think, oh, you
Oh,
can
do you know
just
what
have
just reminded
squash.
me? There's a great app which I use.
Oh, it reminds you.
I'd
to
love to
doesn't
show
it?
you, but
Mine's
it's actually on the
just
phone. But I downloaded an app that I think it's just like drink water.
Can we pop the link to the app in the
I
YouTube
could probably do that.
description?
But yeah, and all it does, it flashes up on my phone, time to drink water, and then I take a few sips, and it does that, and you can set it. So I find that that little reminder, because we're constantly looking at our phone and notifications, aren't we? We've almost become, that's our nature.
Yeah.
Ping. So I get like a ping, which also comes from my watch and tells me to like drink water. So I drink. So it's with me. I go, oh, okay, I drink. So that's really been helpful. Anyway, next.
Next.
That was an extensive answer.
Oh,
Yeah, it
talk about
was.
This is a big question.
Training for a while now, struggle to gain muscle. Again,
Okay.
it's about that.
So
Yeah.
Jay,
Yeah.
you talk about the train side, and then
Yeah.
we'll discuss.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to see their program generally, but the obvious tips would be to hit your large muscle groups, focus on full body movements, compound movements, and just hitting the main push, pull. Definitely need a form of squat in there. Could be any form of squat due to the fact that obviously you're training huge, large muscle groups, and also it does also train your upper body as well. And yeah, just making sure that you have the right foods. I mean, obviously going into the right foods, and yeah, just trying to not focus too much on your bicep curls, your tricep extensions, your shrugs, the smaller range of movements. Because if you get a good push and pull, you're always going to hit those muscle groups anyway.
Training the muscle more than 1 time a week as well. 'Cause you
Yeah,
don't-
Yeah. So obviously,
Yeah.
talk about reps and stimuli. Basically, I mean, obviously, reps are important. Don't be afraid. I know there's talk about like how many reps you should perform and like pause reps and all that sort of stuff in there, but don't be afraid to train big as well. So train heavy. Don't train heavy all the time, but you need to put that into your routine every now and then, as well as your endurance sets. So the muscle growth is going to obviously encourage a lot quicker if you
Muscles
challenge it.
built with time under tension.
Mhm.
So, like Jay just said, if it's heavy, there's a good chance that you're not pulling it straight off the floor. For example, if you're doing a deadlift, you're probably, it's probably taking you 2-3 seconds to get to the top.
Yeah.
Provided you keep in good form and you're not bent over like that, because that's never a good thing. But as long as you're using good form, lifting strong, sticking to the main compound movements, and like Jay just said, like don't worry about if you're doing a really good bent over barbell rows, chins, whatever, the power moves.
Yeah, the
Your
main
biceps are getting smashed.
exactly. The main compound moves would be a bent over row, a deadlift, a squat,
Shoulder press.
a shoulder press, a bench press.
A lot of what we use with our small group.
Yeah.
A lot of things we use in
that
small
covers everything generally.
Yeah. Yeah, and all them muscles are going to get hit. It's like the times I've spoken to people and they go, I really get struggling to gain muscle. You look at their program, they're doing like bis and tris, and they do backwards, they're doing pull downs, they do laterals for shoulders. You're like, well, where's your compound moves?
Yeah,
you know,
they are suitable, and obviously they are a major part of the training, and very good for obviously like injury prevention as well. But you've got to hit the big.
I've actually found that doing one compound movement. So, for example, if your shoulders, you're doing shoulder press, and then doing one smaller. So maybe you do laterals or you do rears, and the same for chest, flat bench, heavy, and then do maybe an incline press or a fly. You know, so always include a compound movement, and then maybe one or two other ones.
Also speak to your coach a little bit about advanced training, so pyramid sets, supersets.
GDT's good for plateauing.
But like I say, don't be frightened of going heavy. So you can do things like 5 sets of 5. I do a lot of stuff with my clients called myofibral sets, which is like working to exhaustion, and then you do 1 set of 3 reps followed by 20 seconds, 3 reps followed by 20 seconds. So they end up doing a high volume of reps on a higher weight.
And it's time on attention.
Yeah.
Constantly on the tension. That's it.
I've been doing giant sets and supersets and drop sets and everything with a client recently, and it has proved the point. She has gained muscle on her results. So
it's cool.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong way.
No.
When it comes to and then
It's consistency as well.
Consistency, absolutely.
Get in there
and then the biggest one is food. So are you eating enough? You know, if you want the same way as like trying to lose weight, you need to reduce your food. When you want to gain weight, you've got to increase your food. Obviously, trying to increase the right food, so good carbs, good proteins, good fats. Don't be afraid, particularly if you're a person that doesn't really lay fat down easily. Don't be afraid to make your meals a bit dirtier. So have like red meat, throw in a burger if you want to, that kind of thing. Don't be afraid of that. But what I would literally start doing again, tracking your food. Because it's really funny, we always talk about, when we talk about tracking, we're always talking about tracking for weight loss, but tracking for muscle gain is also equally important. Keeping a journal is also equally important for muscle gain. So, if you're eating 2,000 calories a day and you're not really seeing any growth, and try and get your body composition tested. If you, use calipers or come and use our scanner, but basically get a good body composition to see what kind of lean mass you are gaining. Increase your calories by 100 calories a day. Keep doing it like that. Don't just go, I'm going to add 500, because it might not necessarily be the best way forward. And also doubling down on your calories is going to make you feel absolutely dreadful.
You've got to leave yourself room to grow as well. If you go 500 straight off the bat, you're not giving yourself a lot.
Talk about leaving room, recovery as well.
Massive.
Huge.
And again, something else, especially
overtraining,
especially young lads. Young lads are like, I've got to go to the gym again tonight. Like, no, you haven't. You can't even tie your shoelaces. So
that's something we didn't talk about.
You probably need to rest.
That's a different problem. Why I can't do my laces.
Obviously, overtraining. You've got the overtraining symptoms of everything's going in the opposite direction. So make sure you recover and repair properly.
And last but not least,
there's loads from this week.
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with osteoporosis.
Okay, so usually that it's a higher prevalence. Am I right in saying it's higher prevalence in females?
Yeah.
So, and again, normally it scares people because they instantly think that it's a wasting disease, and I'm going to waste away.
Osteoin's bone, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Yeah.
So,
Brittle bone disease.
so basically, So there's lots of research to show that resistance training can actually slow down the process of osteoporosis. It can actually also regenerate good bone growth, new bone growth, but will slow down the process. Now, I'm not suggesting that you hit the gym and start doing your 5 compound movements, but doing some kind of resistance training will definitely help you. And that's not just that.
I suggest they do go and hit the 5 compound movements.
No, I know, but I mean,
Not
I don't mean like
on the
I've not been in the gym before. I'm going to deadlift.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like, don't get heavy, but do the
of
movements.
course, absolutely.
Definitely work with a coach.
To start with, just do some resistance training, some light resistance training to get you in the feel for what. Because obviously your muscles are going to get fatigued. So, last thing you want is aching joints and also your muscles screaming at you. You don't need that. So nice and slowly, like Ryan just said, maybe work with a coach, even if it's just for a short term, just so you get confident in working with resistance and understanding technique and stuff like that, so you don't do any damage to yourself. But it's not just us saying that because that's what the game we're in. the research is vast.
Yeah.
It's vast on weight training and osteoporosis. So I strongly recommend that you start less bombs and toms and more grunt and groan.
And this is why just resistance
Yeah,
training is important. Yeah.
Combined with 40 Bombs comes
On the
quick and
spot, man, quick.
Quick maths.
Well, as I say, this is why resistance training is obviously important anyway to begin with,
Yes.
especially as it comes to females. Because obviously used to be in the past that no females would touch a weight because obviously suddenly they're frightened of it.
Don't be too bulky.
So obviously it slows down the process of osteoporosis in the
We
future.
don't have
So
enough
it's-
testosterone for that.
No, you produce a very small amount.
Yeah.
But yeah, for years and years, that was like women don't do weights.
Mm.
Well,
You do.
Can't lift that too much.
strong
No
women, man.
limits.
Strong women, like
Amazing.
mentally,
Yeah, definitely.
physically strong women. Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
Love
cool.
strong women.
And restrict all other injuries as well.
Absolutely. Anything else anybody wants to come up with?
There's no more questions, but
Cool.
There are a limited number of the wintry woolly hats left at the moment,
Wow.
so
Check
it
you
is
out.
kind of a while stocks last situation now.
Well, the fact that two mannequins
oh,
wearing them.
stocks
I
live.
think there's only 3
There's
left.
3. There's 2 on the mannequins
Yay.
One on the shelf.
That's this-
Yeah.
and jumpers.
Ooh,
Those
yeah,
sizes.
honestly,
It's
I
getting
can't recommend the hoodies enough. I haven't even put a coat on yet because my hoodie is so warm.
As it's getting a bit close to Christmas, should we be talking about Christmas parties?
Yeah, Christmas party. We've basically landed it on Maddie. So if we don't have a Christmas party, it's all Maddie's fault.
Brilliant.
And also if it's awful.
It's all Maddie's fault.
Well-
I'm not. You might surprise you, but I'm not really much of a party person, me.
Really?
No.
Anything else that you should know? Yeah, so if you haven't tried, if you haven't been to Absolute, you can get 30 days of our small group program. That's working with a coach for 30 days. We've got 6 sessions a day you can book into. That's well worth checking out. Just go to absolutetrainingnutrition.com/small group training, and all the details and everything you need to know is there. I think that's probably it.
Yoga is starting next month.
Oh yeah.
Next
month.
week, actually.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
Yes.
Yoga, November 4th. I believe there's a few slots left still. £25 for 4 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, and it's with Debbie. I mean, come on, you get to spend 4 hours a month with Debbie. I mean, if that doesn't highlight, make you feel happy about yourself, yeah.
That girl,
Very
bundle,
energetic girl.
bundle of energy.
Little bouncy Debbie, she's all over it. So you should get on board. I think that's it.
I think that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Cool.
Get your questions in for next week.
Yeah. Please hope that's not like I'm burnt out on all the questions. Yeah, keep sending them in. It really helps because you may be thinking it's an issue for you, but it's also probably an issue for lots and lots of people. So cool. Make sure you share this video if you're watching it. Share it with somebody. Send it to somebody who might need it. Cool. Take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.